Yes, so I should go start on the matter of vigilance.
On the vigilance evening.
Right. Yes, vigilance also helped us. If you look at the numbers, regardless of the intimidation, the numbers between our parliamentary candidate and Honorable Habib, you realize a lot of work went into it.
Okay.
In previous elections, there were times that even spoiled ballots were counted as valid votes in favor of the NPP in Toron constituency.
Spoiled ballots?
Yes. People who died before elections, a chief will come and sit on a chair and ask you whether you still have ballot papers. Okay. When you say yes, they call people to come and vote on behalf of the dead people in Toron constituency.
Wow.
Yes. And I remember in 2020, a polling agent confessed to me that when they asked him to allow the EC officers to add spoiled ballots to valid votes casted in favor of the NPP, and he refused, they threatened him that they were going to tie him down and let children beat him to death. He resisted until now he's alive. Sometimes you need to stand firm against intimidation, and you win against it. This election has served as an eye-opener to every one of us that, look, sometimes it's just intimidation. They're just trying to scare you to run away from the polling station, then they do what they want to do. In 2020, they won with a difference of 9,000.
Okay.
And so when we're going into this election, they warned that they were going to retire our parliamentary candidates by beating us with over 15,000.
Okay.
Same pronouncement Farouk Aliu Mahama made in Yendi, that he was going to defeat our candidate by 20,000, and now he's lying in a pool of blood in court.
Okay.
Right. Now this year, we discharge polling agents. And you see, in previous elections too, we allow people to stand at the polling station because they have been there since 1992.
Okay.
We have to go back and understand that politics is now not about the old age politics where you say, I was born into the NDC. That's his false statement. You can only join a political party at age 18 when you are conscious of yourself and then in the right mind to vote. Now, someone will be standing at the polling station who can write 6 in figure but cannot write 6 in words.
Okay.
The electoral laws or rules, same as banking rules, they respect words than figures.
Okay.
Your 5 can look like a 6. Your 6 can look like an 8. But the words, as in you writing it, you are conscious of what you are putting on the paper. So before the elections, we trained our polling agents. And we knew that if we had told people, look, you wait, sit somewhere, let someone take over the job of a polling agent, so after the election, we can pay your money. Some of them are coming in not because they want to be polling agent or party officers, but they want to be delegates.
Okay.
So when when we have primaries, they'll get money from it, and they feel that is also their reward, because they believe that, for example, Dr. Seydou can be an appointee, but I don't have any certificate to get an appointment. My appointment is the money I make when we are going to primaries.
Okay.
But they carry that mentality into the election. But this time around, we said no, we won't sack you to go home and feel bitter. We will conduct an exam. When you fail the exam, then you agree with us that you are not fit for the job. Someone else can come and do the job. You sit aside, or you can be a prompter. Go into the house and call people to come out and vote. But we will still pay you the money as a polling agent and sort out the person who will man the polling station for us. That was the strategy in Northern Region. So when we conducted the examination, at an electoral area where we had 11 polling stations, 9 failed. They got 0. They couldn't even put figures together. So we disqualified them, and they agreed, because if you fail an exam, you have to sit back. We sat them down. I mean, psychology have to come into this. Sometimes you don't just sack people from the polling station because they are not educated. They formed their party, and they did the 1992 constitution with Rollins. So you can't just come and tell them that, look, go home and sit because you don't have a certificate. Some of them, we told them, look, if you have your son who is educated, you can bring him forward. So at some of the polling stations, we had lawyers in Tolo who were manning the polling station as agents.
Okay.
So before the commencement of election, you try to verify whether the seal on the ballot box, we also have our seal there. If it is broken, then you know there's a problem.
Okay.
And when they finish voting, and we concentrated much more on voter education, because in 2020, poll ballots in northern region alone would have won an election for someone in Upper East region. I'm using Upper East because you can see the winner with 12,000, the loser with only 4,000. The constituencies, some of them are small.
Yeah.
For example, the number of votes we got in Tolon, 24,000. With that number, we can win an election in Upper East region, in a constituency. I mean, putting even the loser and the winner, their results together, our results will be much more than that. Right? Now, vigilance was key, because we believe that, look, with vigilance, and I agree with my brother when he mentioned that if NDC continue with vigilance, right, NPP cannot win an election in this country.
Very true.
Without stealing, without intimidation, NPP cannot win an election in Ghana. Look, Ghanaians now appreciate what politics is all about. They believe politics is about development. People who bring development to the doorstep, people who make life easy for you. I earn salary, and at the end of the month, when I pick my pay slip and I look at the tax that I pay, I get angry because I see nothing around me when NPP is in power. Okay. And I pay more taxes under NPP and I see nothing. But the less I pay under NDC, I see banks, I see universities, I see training colleges, I see roads, and I see people employed genuinely into services. Today, they tell us that, look, when you are at a certain age, you cannot join the military, police, etc. Under the NPP, we see 40 years old men and women joining the police service. A policeman will stop you at the traffic. He cannot even speak English. How was he recruited? Which certificate did he use to get into the services? These are guys who join Azugo and start shooting guns at Ayawaso West Wagon. Because emotional intelligence is zero. There's no psychology, nothing to think about. What they think about is party color and symbol. So when there is vigilance in politics, when we continue, we don't become relaxed, we don't become arrogant, we don't become greedy, and people will never taste power in this country. Because for them, everything is about stealing. Sarah, I'm not surprised how we were seeing ballot papers across the country everywhere. Private citizens holding electoral commission bags full of ballot papers stamped with accredited stamps of electoral commission. For example, here also was Wagon. One gentleman in his rasta hair was trying to force a ballot box into the center after they had collated every ballot box in that, at that hall. And when they opened the ballot box, it was full of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia thumb-printed ballot papers. If this man goes scot-free, they will repeat it in 2028. Stealing and attempted stealing are all crimes. I mean, in football, when you make an attempt, they can even give you a yellow card. Right? So in our laws, attempted stealing should be a crime and people must be prosecuted. For vigilance, we wouldn't have been here. I mean, look at the way they are now claiming that they have gotten. What is the point of recollecting results? Sarah, what's the point? An electoral commission officer coming out to say that I was scared to declare someone a winner. That's an indictment on even you, the officer. Come to Saviligu in 2020. An election officer who was sent to Saviligu, that is not your electoral area. That's not even your constituency. At the end of polls, he realized that NDC was going to win at that polling station. Kadia, he just got up, voted, picked a ballot paper, casted a vote, and went and kept it in a ballot box. An election officer, that is not your constituency. Then the NPP came and said, oh, okay, then we have to annul the whole polling station. Yeah. Because they knew if they had annulled that box, we would have lost the election in 2020. We asked the young man, which party did you vote for? And he claimed that he voted for the NDC. Then we told them, let's remove one vote
from the NDC
and count. And the MPP was just hell-bent on annulling that ballot box. So for them, it is not about genuine votes. For them, it's about stealing. It's about scaring people to not come out and vote.
My time is almost up. Just one question on the Northern region. You are going to congratulate the
Northern Regional Executives.
Okay. So this time, how many seats have they got?
12 seats.
12 seats. You've been able to secure 12 seats.
Yes.
You are talking about lying in a pool of blood. END. What has happened?
I mean, in course. I mean, it's just an idiomatic expression.
Okay.
You know, Farouk was bragging.
Yes.
That he was going to retire our parliamentary candidate by giving him a 2,000 gap.
Okay.
But he defeated Farouk Aliyu Muhammad.
Oh, he beat Farouk?
Yes. Farouk Aliyu Muhammad is out of parliament.
Oh, okay.
And my brother mentioned something. You see, we have NDC. We have swallowed the propaganda of the NDC and the NPP that they are elite and we are illiterates. It is okay to agree when Kufuor and Rawlings were going, to agree that Kufuor was more educated than Rawlings. And for that matter, claiming that Kufuor was an elite, that was fine. But to still accept it when a professor was contesting Kufuor, that Kufuor was the elite. And in fact, if you remember the propaganda that Osafo Mafo was one of the finest, economists in Africa, the first degree.
So easy. Easy.
No, we have to stop swallowing that propaganda. When you even go and look at our parliamentary candidates from one constituency to the other, even in Northern region, you appreciate the fact that we have to stop swallowing the propaganda from the NPP that they are a party of elites and we are a party of, in quote, vagabonds or veranda boys to say. We are not that type of party. Vigilance is key and we have to put greed aside. We have to put arrogance also cause the NPP.
Yeah.
You put our feet in fire and when we are coming out to complain, you claim. I mean, you ask her to shut up. We cannot ask you questions of what we have used our taxes to do.
Okay. I have to move on to your other, and you clearly have a lot to say. Maybe we have to find time and have a one-on-one conversation on this, on a lot of the things that has happened in the Northern region.
Right.
I'll just come back for you to wrap up briefly.
It's okay.
But he was just talking about the lessons to be learned from these elections. What's the lessons you think the NDC should learn from these elections for you after being through the whole process?
Okay. I think that listening to my co-panelists, one lesson that we have to learn is not allowing electoral crime to go unpunished.
Okay.
You know what happened in Techiman South? If the government, Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, had prosecuted people, it wouldn't have repeated itself. So going into this election, because that was not done, for me and those of us like my executive, we knew that the attempt will be more this time. Because if you do something and you think you can do it, you would double, you would increase so we knew that the attempt will be more. There would be and it was, I think the signs were clear that because they know NDC, I don't know when we went into that mode where we are seen as a weaker party, but I think it is that nation first, the spirit of nation first. That is why, because you always think about Ghana, and so whatever will bring peace and unity, and so that has been taken as a weakness for us. It is not because we don't have men who can stand up to whatever is being done. So for me, I knew that there would be more attempt until they get the message that, look, if you shoot, I can shoot. But is that really what we want? So that not allowing electoral crimes to go unpunished is one thing. The second lesson is, you see what happened. Like my brother panelist just said, arrogance. Like it got to a point that arrogance in the NPP was nauseating. Like when they're doing it, you feel like throwing up. If you are elected into a position, you are there to serve the people. It is not customer save me, it's customer service. But here you are, the person paying you has no right to question what you are doing. That is arrogance pro max. The way they talk, the way they hold themselves, the way they hold themselves in power, it is all arrogance. Just check it from the top to the down. All of them, drivers, it doesn't matter the position. They think that you have no rights. Also, that kind of arrogant attitude. Also, who told you that Ghana is for you? Ghana is for all of us. So if you don't want that kind of accountability, stay in your corner and do your business. But once you put yourself out there as a public servant, you get the vote of the person. The person giving you the vote is saying, I am telling you that you can manage my taxes. I'm giving you that power. And then after I give you the power, I don't have the right to question you. That is arrogance. So I'm appealing to our MPs. This is to our own MPs. You see, this thing that happened, it can happen again. And now, they said, to whom much is given, much is expected. Ghanaians have given us, like, absolute control. There is no excuse for failure. So if we preached against skirt and blouse, and majority of the people listen to us. So if we do not help the president and the vice president to succeed, 2024, our fate will be worse than this. And if that happens, we should kiss governance goodbye. But with what we have now, if we are able to manage it well and help the president, NDC is going to be in power for a long time. So they should not think that now we have it and start that arrogant thing. If we try it, the people are watching. We will tumble the same way, right? It's going to happen because now they know that, oh, if you are not doing what I expect you to do, I will vote you out. And also we have to remember that the grace with which Ghanaians deal with MPP, they don't give 50% to NDC. So Ghanaians waited till the elections. We might not get that. So let us be humble. Let us listen to the people. If you are an MP, you are there for your people, your constituents. Communicate to them. Let them know what you are doing. It is not about waiting and then when it's election time you come and share money to them. Or it is not about paying school fees and paying hospital fees. No, teach the people how to fish. Bring development, lobby for things for the community so that they can stand on their own. And then that pressure on MPs, when you go to MP's house, people are sitting from 6 a.m. They are coming for money. That is not the MP's job, because when you focus on that, then you don't do what you are really elected to do, and it will affect your constituency. Teach the people how to fish so that they can do their own fishing. Don't be handing them fish.
Thank you very much. And David, I'm way past my time, but
I'll make it quick and brief for you. I'm quite happy because of the 2 points that they touched on. All right. I think President Mahama needs and has to be more ruthless in his second coming than ever before. And if he's not able to transition himself into that mode where he's doing it for Ghana and for posterity, then I think we don't have a future. I made a clear statement earlier that today's voter, or the kind of voters we are going to get over the next few electoral cycles, are not going to be voters with staunch commitment to any political party. They will look at what is happening. Okay, so we need to do the do. And when it comes to governance, in 2016, one of the reasons why NDC was kicked out is arrogance. If you remember, it's arrogance. Okay, babies with sharp teeth and all of that, the perception of arrogance. Fast forward 2024, and we've seen arrogance pro max, arrogance 2.0. And we saw how the NDC was removed is less aggressive than how the MPP was removed. So if you do linear correlation, you see there is a great correlation between government's apparent arrogance and how the people dealt with that government with an election. So we need to run a government where we have zero tolerance for arrogance. If you speak to the general public through radio, TV, and print media, and you sound to be arrogant, we investigate, and if by virtue of the listening it is arrogant, you need to be sacked.
Yeah.
We need that kind of discipline in government and the commitment. Of course, in a basket of balls, you have blue balls, you have red balls, you have green balls. So in the government of the NDC, you are going to get monsters.
Yeah.
It's fact. We need to deal decisively with monsters in the government and take decisive action against arrogance and everything that is wrong. Look at the temperature and govern to please the people.
Well, thank you very much, David Zekpa, 1957 Group, and of course a big thank you to Onamase Kodo of NBC. I saw your women celebrating. That was the best celebration I've ever seen. The video is trending. Fantastic celebration. NBC Women Canada. This is their women organizer. They celebrated in her absence.
That's just part one.
That's how Eddie just starts problems.
No, that's just
part one.
That's just part one. The main one is
okay. And a big thank you, Doc. And I hope to host you again, Dr. Seidu Fita. Yes, is of course an intellectual, and of course also the communications officer for the NDC in Toulon, a member of the communication team in the northern region. Well, there's something Bill Clinton said: there are no permanent defeats and victories in politics. Never forget that. You're a victor today, you could be defeated tomorrow. There are no permanent victories and defeats in politics. So do take note of that. Well, we are back Monday with another edition of a Good Morning Conversation from my team, Nancy, SM, Eric the producer, Alaska B, who is in charge of Facebook Live. We'll say have a fruitful weekend. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday. And if you're looking for Tijani Badamasi, he is at Radio Go.
Right. 2022, 23, 24, and more. We don't chat, man. Bad Back live. Commercial free. Mid-morning.